The Arc of Pennsylvania presents the next segment in our Making Connections for the 21st Century Workforce series featuring Jay and James from Kohls.
I'm Jay Bedard. I work at Kohls of Carlisle.
First question, Jay. What is your favorite part about being employed by Kohls?
Working in the warehouse.
What do you do when you work in the warehouse?
I throw the boxes in the compactor.
Next question. Why is it important to you to have a job and be employed?
Gives me spending money.
Is there anything specific you like to spend your money on, Jay?
Clothes.
Clothes? Well, then you work in a good place then if you like to spend your money on clothes if you work at Kohls. For your next question, Jay, what advice would you give to another individual with a disability who is trying to find a job?
Just keep trying.
And Jay, your last question, did COVID-19 change how you do your job? And if so, what is different about your job now?
Wearing a mask.
Sure. Hi, my name is James Gilbert. I'm the store manager of Kohl Store 0118 in Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
So can you tell us about your personal and professional experience with people with disabilities?
Absolutely. So from a personal level, I actually, my youngest son was diagnosed autistic earlier in 2020. So the dad in me always obviously wants the best for my son. So my wife and I will do anything we can to support him and make sure he's going to be successful early in life. So when he gets older, hopefully he'll, be able to transition right into the job world without any problems whatsoever. But regardless of that, I do know as an employer that he's not going to have a problem finding a job because there's many companies out there that are supportive of people with, disabilities, whether they're mental or physical or whatever they may be. So, that is very rewarding as an employer to know that my son, is going to have long-term success, somewhere out there.
Next question. Tell us about your experience having people with disabilities as part of your workforce.
So it's nothing but positive my whole entire career. I've been a retail store manager for going on almost 25 years now. And, with that said, over my entire career, I've always had somebody that has worked for me that would be classified as having a disability. And in most cases, you can't really see or tell. And it's nothing that we ever acknowledge because, they just become great, wonderful employees within whatever company may be. So here at Kohls, about 15 years ago, I started with Kohls, and Jay started about a year and a half after us. And he was kind of the first person we hired under that classification. And he set the bar really high. And Jay has been a standard above anybody else when it comes to that. We don't recognize Jay as having a disability. It's something, maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. That's not my judgment to make. But once you get to know him, you'll look past all of that. I mean, he's reliable, dependable, he's happy, he makes everybody else around him happy. And, that's pretty much the trend with most anybody that we've ever hired under that classification. And, we just seen the utmost success with that. And, we'll continue to hire from that category just because, they're people just like anybody else.
What accommodations have you needed to make to ensure that all of your workforce, including people with disabilities, have the supports they need to be successful at their job?
Again, I've been lucky. We've actually, and I was thinking about that for a while, and I could not think of a single time we've actually had to make, any accommodations whatsoever. And if they are, they're so minor you don't even notice them. Right from the start, we treat everybody equal, regardless of what their classification may be. They receive the same interview, they receive the same orientation, the same training, the same onboarding as everybody else, and they pretty much start just like anybody else. So those are the same expectations and the same values. And we bring them on board with the team, we introduce them to the team, and they become part of the team right there from day one. And because of that, I think we've set that standard and set that bar to be the way it is. And I think that's a great transition for everybody. For somebody that's not ever worked with somebody with a disability or somebody that has one that has to come into a work environment, by keeping them on an equal playing field, I think that sets a great example right from the beginning.
Next question. How has your business fostered a disability-friendly work culture?
So Kohls is a great company to work for. I'm not just saying that because I've been with them for so many years, but diversity and inclusion is a huge part of our company. And it's not just something that we talk about. It's actually something that's part of our company values. And Just recently, the company has rolled out, I shouldn't say recently, but within the last couple of years, has rolled out a program called our Business Resource Groups. And in 2019, a Business Resource Group, or a BRG as we call it, was created called Disabilities. And this group basically helps highlight and support those associates that are hired within the company that have, whether it is a mental issue, a physical issue, some sort of disability. They're actually there to help highlight and support them. And it also allows associates, whether you're one that's classified as having a disability or somebody that knows somebody or somebody that wants to be supportive, to allow yourself to become a member of that group. And it's something that, passionately, that I'm very supportive of. I'm a member of it myself because of the workforce and because of my son. It's something that I get behind and something that I definitely get involved in. And it's going to allow us opportunities to grow and learn and develop as a company and as a person, be more involved in our community. So, it's just, one of the great things that Kohls does and one of the great things we do at a local level.
And last question, James, what advice would you share with other businesses that are hiring or thinking about hiring people with disabilities?
So this is something, again, I can talk passionately about. I can tell you that the one thing is, if you want to go, statistically, there's many things out there from many different companies. I know I found a research paper done by DuPont that was over a 30-year study, just basically just out there saying that people with disabilities have better attendance, better reliability, they work harder, better attitudes, better performance ratings, not always better performance ratings, but equal to or better performance ratings. So statistically, there's an advantage to it. I can tell you from, my own personal experience, you just gotta go out there and look past the fact that they may have a disability, whether you can note. In a lot of cases, you don't even know. Like I said, some of the people's disabilities may not be physical, they could be mental or emotional, so they're hard to see. So if you just go in there open-minded when you interview somebody, or go in there open-minded when you speak with somebody, and just interview them and ask yourself, can the person I'm talking to, can they do the job that's needed? And everybody's job is different from what they have to do. But if they can do the job, there's no reason they can't be hired. Tony, and hopefully I don't butcher the last name, Tony Kohl, who was a former U.S. congressman and pretty much the author or grandfather to the Americans with Disabilities Act, had a great quote. And I'm gonna have to look at my paper because I'm gonna read it exactly. But it's one of my favorite quotes, and it's one of the reasons, when I found it, that I kind of stick with it a lot. But he basically said, few employers are willing to hire employees with disabilities. Fear is the biggest barrier. It's really fear of the unknown. And the best way to eliminate such fears is to hire persons with disabilities. You'll find out a lot of those things that you're fearful for are not true. And that statement is so true. For people that have that pre-exhumed fear, just get it past you. There's no reason to be fearful. They're great employees. They're great people. The one thing I always say about Jay is, Jay's a great employee. Once you get to know him, you realize he's an even greater person. So, we're very fortunate here. And again, as I said, he set the bar super, super high, and we've been so fortunate. Everybody we've hired after him, those that have had disabilities, have also, fit in very well. So, we're in a great situation here at this store. We're in a great situation here in this company. And, I'm excited about the future, both with Kohls and with, associates with disabilities, and that's speaking as a father and an employer, because I'm, looking at the future for my son too.